Coming up, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of storytelling in your career and for your advancement, and how you can get a six-figure degree in technology and get a great job. It's all coming up right now. I'm coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. So excited to have you with us as we continue a conversation about what you are supposed to do through your work. And I'm very excited. Brand new partnership that I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the program. You don't want to miss it, especially those of you who want to get into technology. How do you get a six-figure job in technology without the four-year degree? I am so excited about it. I botched the opener. I mean, I literally said it backwards, but I'm so excited. We've been working on this for a while, and I know that so many of you are going, Ken, I would love to make more money doing work in the technology sector, but I don't have the time or the money to go back to school, and I've got great news. You don't have to spend a ton of time and not a lot of money. And the Ken Coleman Show is guiding you right to the option. I'm going to announce this fun partnership that's coming up later, so you don't want to miss this. And remember, for those of you watching live, you need to share today's show more than most to anybody in your family, your circle of friends who wants to break into the technology sector, but they feel like they're very, very limited by time and money. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I wanted to start the show off with it, but Madison and Joe said no. And so I always do what they tell me to do. All right, so let's talk about another very important topic. Storytelling. Great article from Harvard Business Review. Storytelling, how it can help you in your presentations, in your leadership, in your career, in your advancement. Really well done by Jeff Gotelf. And I'm going to give him all the credit here. This is really good stuff. I love to pass things along that I go, bam, this is a rubber stamp for me. I believe in this. There are 5 ways to really become specific and intentional in your storytelling in a professional setting. So think about it as a presentation, even a sales pitch, leading change, and getting your team on board with a change in direction. Number 1, be audience specific. Think about your audience. What are they curious about? What worries them? What motivates them? Number 2, contextualize the story. Everybody always needs context. Why the change? Why this product? Why this resource? Why this change in behavior? By the way, this is great for parenting as well. Contextualize your story. Why is now the right time to make this change? What's going on? What are the factors? What are the realities? What are the things that are hinging on change or no change? Number 3, humanize the story. Always bring in that human element. This is just good old-fashioned storytelling. That's why great speakers will share a funny story within their talk. It has some purpose. Sometimes it's not even content connected. It's just connecting with the audience with a laugh. Humanize the story. And then 4th, make it action-oriented. Obviously, when you're going to present something to people, there's always some change you want out of this. What do you want them to know? What do you want them to feel? What do you want them to do? So that you need to always give practical direction, and that will empower them to act. So remember, little formula here. Clear direction empowers the audience for action. Okay? And then 5, always be humble. When you're presenting and you feel very passionate about what you believe in, and I certainly do on what I talk about on this program. I mean, how passionate I get fired up. But you always want to come at it from a place of humility, no matter how confident you are in the humility there. How do you balance humility and confidence? Well, you make it about everybody else. It's not about you. You're not promoting something that you're confident in, and the whole reason for promoting it is not about you looking good and being right. It's about helping others. And so others focused, servant hearted. That's where that humility comes in, and you can be very confident in casting vision or promoting a change. As long as, again, the motive is about helping others. 844-747-2577 is the phone number, 844-747-2577. Hey, before we get to the phones, we're growing. We're growing because of you. You're watching either live right now or you're watching later. And we need you to give us a thumbs up for every episode that you watch. Also, if you haven't subscribed, would you subscribe and would you please share? Specifically, those of you who want to break into technology or you've got family members or friends that want to get into it, we got a big announcement coming up, real details on how you can get qualified and get placed in a short amount of time and for a small amount of money. I'm super excited about it. That's coming up later in the program. But first, to the phones we go. St. Louis, Missouri. Justin is on the line. Justin, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, it's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Justin. How can I help?
Hey, I have a question that is kind of it's a dream scream and then a question. So I landed a job as a entry-level software engineer following your resume guide and your interview guide.
Great.
Thanks for that. It was awesome. And so I started out as an entry-level software engineer. I'm 32 years old. And I guess my question is, so I struggle basically daily to find balance between becoming better at what I do and leisure. And so I, for example, play a ton of video games. And like I looked up one game the other day, just one of them, and in the 7 years that I played it, I have 179 hours in it, or 179 days in it. And so I want to be better at my job. I just have a hard time because I feel like I'm 32, I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm starting out entry level. Where do you find balance between like pleasure and leisure, leisure and like just for becoming better at what you need to do? You understand what I'm saying?
I do understand. It just comes down to self-control, and it comes down to what do you want more? And you have to be really honest with yourself and say, what's driving me to play that many hours in a video game?
Right. And the thing is,
are you escaping? Is it a complete escape, or is it where it's kind of gotten to the point where it's no longer an escape? Initially, it was an escape. That's all entertainment is. It's a bit of a I'm going to go from here to I'm going to be entertained, and I'm choosing to entertain myself with video games. But if it's become more than entertainment, and I'm running from other things, and I don't want to face other things. I don't want to do the things that I need to do to grow in my career, to grow in my personal life. The only way I can contextualize this statement is I'm 46. I've got 3 kids and a wife and 2 doodles. And I've got a radio show. I write books. I'm developing an assessment. We're working on a career coaches initiative, and we got a lot going on. And I have limited time in the day, so I don't have a lot of video game time. Do I play video games? Very rarely. I play with my kids when they want to play with me, which is increasingly not happening because now they're 7th graders and 9th graders, so they don't even want to be around me. Okay, but they used to want to play Madden with me and NBA 2K, but they beat me so bad, I don't even want to play with them. But the one game I do play every once in a while, and it is a really healthy escape for me, I'll play a golf game. And my kids make fun of me, and my wife, she loves it. She kind of laughs, but it's like I might play 30, 45 minutes, and it's really rare. Really rare. So, but where's that come from? So in that situation, that's just me. Kids are all doing something. I don't have a big honey-do list right now, and I'm just going to play 18 holes, maybe 36 holes on this thing, and it's kind of it allows my brain to kind of recover, and I'm just mindlessly playing a golf game. But then I'm done, and I step back into real life. So there's self-discipline there. And so this really comes down to self-discipline. What do you want more? Do you want more time disappearing and escaping into a fantasy world? Or do you want more success and more significance, and with that comes money? What do you want more? No, I didn't ask you a rhetorical question. I asked you a direct question. What do you want more in your life right now, Justin?
I want more money.
Okay, guess what? How is the video game stopping you from making money? Is it?
Yeah, because I could spend more time studying the things I need to do to become better at my job.
Well, then do it.
Right. Yeah, it's just difficult because I don't feel like it's an escape. I've done it my whole life. I just love playing games. It's what I've done my whole life. And so
yeah, well, okay, guess what? If you want to keep playing games, you're going to stay where you are. So you decide, what future do you want?
I agree.
And here's the other thing. Do you think you're addicted?
I do think it's possible that I'm addicted, yeah.
I would see a counselor about this. This is not something to laugh about.
Yeah, it just feels weird saying it out loud, I guess.
Yeah, well, it feels weird for anybody to say that. But the point is that your desired future feels like, based on your own self-analysis, and I applaud you for calling me, and I'm not trying to be tough on you. I'm just trying to be direct with you. Like, it's time to grow up. And if you feel you're addicted, then this isn't an issue of growing up. So I don't know if you're addicted or not. But it's either one or the other. You're either addicted, and this is not just grow up. If it's an addiction, you need help. And I would see a counselor about it, because there's a unhealthy source of the driver to play the video games. If it's just you going, I just don't want to do the hard work, and so I'd rather come home and play video games, then that is grow up. Are you married?
I'm not married. I'm engaged.
Yeah, well, that needs to come to a stop anyway, because if you think you're going to be happily married putting in 179 days of video games, you're out of your mind.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be tough on you, Justin. I just don't know if this is a grow up or get help call. And I think you're leaning towards maybe you feel it's an addiction. But you called me and said, Ken, how do I make progress? I'm going to tell you, you need to get healthy. And that's either growing up or getting help, and then beginning to put some boundaries around the video games. And I don't think that you have to choose, once you're healthy, I don't think you have to choose between growing in your career and growing in your life and playing video games. You can play video games, but eventually you're not going to be able to if you're healthy in your life, because you won't play as much because you're going to have kids, right?
Right.
So you need to decide today, is this grow up? And maybe you give yourself 7 to 10 days to see if you can self-discipline and wean yourself off of it. And by the way you'll do that is by actually diving into something that's going to make you better. So you need to create your own schedule of, I've got to learn this, or I've got to take this course, and I'm going to spend some of my money and put my skin in the game. And that's going to require an amount of time that, just by the nature of me doing something to grow and get better, is going to eat into my free time, because your free time is the problem and how you're spending it. So maybe you need less free time. Now, I'd give that 7 to 10 days to see if the self-discipline by action of, I'm going to sign up for a course today, and I'm recommending you do that. And if you can't, and you find yourself really struggling with the self-discipline, then maybe there is an addiction issue, and it's worth a counseling session or two, and getting the tools to get healthy. And there's no shame in your game. Don't be ashamed of this. There are a lot worse things to be addicted to, so I want to give you a pat on the back as I send you away. But you need to get this figured out. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to Jonathan in Austin, Texas. Jonathan, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken.
How are you, sir?
Thank you. Well, I'm doing great. Doing great. I just want to say thank you so much for your book, The Proximity Principle. I read it twice. And great notes on it. And yeah, it's been an amazing book. It's really changed my
love that.
trajectory.
Love that. Thank you for those kind words. I'm glad you took a bunch of notes. I love that. That's really fun. So what can I do to help?
So I have a lot of student debt, about $88,000 worth.
How much?
$88,000.
Okay.
And I'm trying. I wrote a book, and my dream job is to be a writer and a voiceover artist. But I also know that I need to take classes and what have you to get qualified to do that.
Okay, why? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not questioning you as in you're wrong. I just want to know more. I want to see evidence. What classes are you needing to take to be qualified to be a writer and a voiceover artist?
Well, voiceover, if I understood it, I need to know how to techniques in reading scripts because I want to do character voices, especially.
Okay.
And
so, are there training? There are classes that will train you on how to do that.
Yes.
And how much do those cost?
Depending on where you are, here in Austin, Texas, about maybe around $100 per class.
All right. Well, that's not that big of a deal. Okay. And so what are the classes because you've already got a degree, right? Because of the student loans. Am I assuming this correctly?
Yeah. So ironically, it's in IT, but I hated it.
Right. So what classes do you think that you need to take to be a writer?
Be a writer? I don't think you need any. You just need to...
that's what I'm trying to tell you. So these aren't big hurdles. How old are you and how much are you making? Are you employed right now and how much are you making?
Yes, I make about, yes, off the top of my head, but basically make $15 an hour. Working in school as a teacher's assistant.
Okay, great. And what kind of writing do you want to do?
It's my dream to also start writing comics for comic books.
Okay. So I could tell you right now, you've read the proximity principle twice.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a bunch of notes. So I think you actually know what to do. And so my question is, because you really, ideally, you want to be working in that space, even if you've got to be like a warehouse guy. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To get you in the building so they can see your ability to write stuff like this. And the voiceover thing, those classes, I would take those one at a time, and I would start a voiceover demo and start doing some of that locally. You can build that up over time. That's a side hustle. So what's your question for me?
So at the same time, I also want to get this debt, get it out of my life. So I have a part-time job tutoring on the side. So that's really slowly building up. Yeah. And I was wondering, we have because of the CARES Act, I have some time to I have some time to put the payments on hold for now. But should I be using that money from the part-time job back into my dream job to get qualified?
Are we talking about the voiceover stuff?
Yeah, voiceover writing, because I also want to start the comic book company itself. So
No. Okay, I got it now. Okay, yeah, so no, you're not starting the comic book company, not right now, no. But what you can do is you can cash flow your way. $100 is not that much money. So you can pay for a couple of classes to get your voiceover stuff started, because that's a side hustle as well. So I'm okay with you starting the side hustle as a voiceover artist. And then you got your part-time job in addition to your full-time job. So I'm all for that, and you busting it and hustling and knocking that debt out. But you're not starting a comic book company anytime soon, not until you've fully gotten out of debt and gotten your emergency fund in place. That's the soonest you would start that, because that's a much tougher venture. And I think you doing the voiceover stuff and then ultimately looking for a part-time or full-time job in the comic book industry, as young as you are, I would be trying to make it into the comic book industry. You're already working an hourly job, $15 an hour. If I could give you a job today making $15 an hour in the comic book industry working for a company, you'd take that in a second, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's the proximity principle. You need to be getting in the comic book industry. Right now's the time. Make sense what I'm saying?
It does. I guess that's what I'm...
$15 an hour, dude. This is doable. Jonathan, listen to me. Everything you got has got to go into getting a job. And I don't care if you're in the warehouse stacking comic books, you got to get in the comic book industry, because that's where you want to be. Then as you get to know everybody and you start going, hey, I'm a decent writer here, I wrote some stuff, and you build relationships. That's the proximity principle. You got to get around people that are doing what you want to do, get in places where it is happening. For you, it's in the comic book industry. Now's the time.
Now's the time.
You're young. Are you single?
Yes.
Dude, what are we waiting on? I don't care if you're barely making enough. You can't even date somebody. As long as you can get ramen noodles and pay your bills, you're working in the comic book industry and you're working your way up. That's how you're going to get in, man. You with me on this? This is doable, isn't it, Jonathan? Huh? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. You broke up. Are you fired up right now? Because please don't let me be more fired up than you are.
Yes, I am very ready for this.
You know this. You've read the book twice. The Proximity Principle. Who are the producers? Who are the professors? Who do your peers know? Get a mentor in your life. Come on, man. Let's go. You got this. Oh, my goodness. He's ready. He just needed the nudge. By the way, Joe, I'm not even sure that's a nudge. I think that was a full-blown, two-handed push out of a nest.
Sometimes you need it.
I'm your guy, folks. If you want me to push you out of the nest, I'll push you out of the nest. 844-747-2577. Coming up, big announcement, big announcement, and not just a big announcement. I'm going to tell you where to go. For those of you who are going, Ken, I'd love to go into technology, but I can't do a 4-year degree. I don't have the time or money. I got the answer. I got the partner. Announcing it in just a few minutes right here on the Ken Coleman Show. I cannot wait. But first to the chat room, Eric writes in. Joe writes in. What do you recommend when you have multiple interests and uncertain for a career path? Well, this is the clarify and verify process that I teach. And you use, again, the proximity principle. So let's say you've got multiple interests. Let's say maybe that turns into 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different career paths. Get around people that are doing that via Zoom, in person, online. Learn as much as you can about the career path itself. How do you get there? How long does it take? What's it cost? What's a day-to-day look like? Does it match up with what your heart longs for? And you do this with all of the options, and it's the good old-fashioned A, B, C, D, or E, and we want to match the head and the heart up. And you want to use the 3 indicators, the 3 elements of who we are: talent, passion, and mission. Talent, what you do best; passion, the work you love to do; and mission, the results of your work that fire your soul up. That's what you're doing, and that's how you figure it out. And let's see, Eric writes in, how do I stay motivated to work at a job that I get this question all the time. I feel like I've already gotten this question. But, how do I stay motivated in a job I don't love, but it's paying me well enough that I can pay off my debt? Mindset. So I'll say this again and again and again. Be grateful for this job that's helping you pay off your debt, because as soon as you pay off the debt, which is Dave Ramsey's and Ramsey Solutions baby step 2, you can move into baby step 3, which is get that 3 to 6 months emergency fund in place. And you get that. Now we can really start to get some momentum and some action steps going on the pursuit of the dream. So you look at it as first step in pursuing the dream is killing the debt. They're tied together. So you're doing something really good. So you go, oh, this is no longer a dead-end job that I can't stand. No, this is funding my future. That's how you look at it. 844-747-2577. All right, gang, be ready to go. We're going to play a interview in just a moment, short, brief interview that I recently did with my friends at Bethel Tech. I've been telling you about this partnership, and I'm super excited. And so I recently had their CEO join me in studio, and we're going to let you hear some of the conversation, because we are coming together, the Ken Coleman Show and Bethel Tech, to allow you in 9 months and for $15,000. And we're going to give you a discount on that. That's what's in front of you. For those of you who want to get trained in the most up-to-date technology skills, they've got an 85% rate of placement, and they're going to walk you through it, not just train you, but help you get placed. Are you kidding me? You can start at somewhere between $60,000 to $70,000 on average, and within a year or two be moving into potential of making 6 figures and be so relevant And by the way, every industry is a tech industry. We talk a little bit about that. So for the next few days, I want to unpack our conversation that allows you to make a decision. I'm so fired up about this. Now, folks, over my radio show, the Sirius XM show, the YouTube show, I will endorse products that I only believe in. But this is not an endorsement. I look at this as a sheer partnership because so many of you out there are going, I can't do what I want to do. And we're talking specifically technology here because I don't have the time, I don't have the money, and I've got no experience. But now I can tell you how to get all three. It's Bethel Tech. You could spend 4 years in college, get an expensive degree in technology, and be no further along. And Bethel Tech's going to get you there faster and way more affordable. And I've got an exclusive offer for our listeners to give you a $500 discount off your tuition. BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman is where you go. But first, I want you to watch this conversation with my friends at Bethel Tech and their amazing CEO and listen in and figure out, is this for me? Watch. Well, Ryan, I'm so excited to be partnering with Bethel Tech because we see more and more our economy is moving into technology advancements and digital spaces that we couldn't even see a decade ago. And you guys are positioned so beautifully to be able to help my audience, those who want to get into tech, actually get qualified, which is stage 2, and then get connected and then get started. That's stage 2, 3, and 4 right there, all through Bethel Tech. Tell us how you help people do that.
Yeah, well, we're super excited to partner with you as well. And so our program is a completely online 9-month program. We focus on the most in-demand tech skills in the country, software development, data science, UI, UX design. Pre-COVID, there were 1 million unfilled tech jobs in the U.S. alone, and only 60,000 computer science graduates every year. So there's this massive talent gap. I used to tell people we're not in an economic recession, we're in a talent recession. So companies are falling over themselves to find qualified talent, and every company is a tech company. I don't care if you're retail, I don't care if you're fast food, if you're big box, every company is trying to find talent because that's where the future of work is in tech. So we take people basically from zero to foot in the door in as little as 9 months, and they learn one of these skills. But we don't just teach in-demand tech skills. We are a Christian faith-based coding boot camp. So we teach biblical principles that correlate as some of the most in-demand soft skills in these companies. Companies are investing millions of dollars to improve workplace culture and things like brave communication, accountability, nobility, culture of honor, healthy relationship, and community. So these companies see us as one of the first ever values-based, purpose-driven boot camps in the world. So we have a seat at the table because of the character piece. And so, we're almost 3 years in. 85% of our students are getting jobs within 90 days of graduation.
Wow.
80% of our students are graduating on time. Newsweek, for 2 years in a row, has listed us as one of the top coding schools in the country. My career services manager, which every one of our students has a dedicated career services person to equip them and empower them to get into the tech space. She just let me know we just in the last 30 days had 18 students get jobs or paid internships. So really, this is where the future of work is, and you don't need to go 2 years or 4 years, spend $160,000, $200,000 on a degree. You can do it in as little as 9 months, and in less than a year, you can go from little to no tech background to having a junior developer job that's paying $70,000 and it's not uncommon to be making 6 figures within 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because of the ladder that you're putting these people on. Once you get those basic coding skills, I mean, they're off and running. Yeah. And I love that you're not just training on the tech side and the soft skills side, but you're actually helping place these people.
Yeah.
That's really, really exciting. And I want to ask, if you're in your 50s, is it too late?
No. That's the beauty of this is most of our students are career pivoters. So we have students that are right out of high school, but we have students that are 30, 35 years old, single moms, working at a call center, looking to basically establish a legacy and change their life. We have 50-year-olds. We had an 84-year-old in China that went through our program. So
is that right?
Yeah, so that's what I love about this space is that you don't disqualify yourself because you don't fit a certain mold. Like this is for everyone. That's and right. The tech space needs you. They need an infusion of new talent. If we were to reskill or upskill every person in the tech space currently, we would never fill that gap of 1 million unfilled tech jobs in the next year or so.
Yeah. I love it. So people just kicking the tires. They're hearing this. They're going, seriously? What do they do right now?
Yeah, they go to our website. It's betheltech.net, and we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to learn a little bit more about what your career goals and what your plans are. I just tell people, like, don't disqualify yourself because you don't think that you fit the mold. Think about a year from now if you started today and where you could go. I'll give you one story. We had a student who about a year and a half ago, he had a family, 2 young kids, was an Uber driver just to supplement his income, went through our program, a month after graduation, gets a $66,000 job. He just texted me last week, this is about 10 months later, said, hey, I just got another job for $130K. Wow. So he went from Uber driver to $130K in a job he absolutely loves in less than a year and a half.
Wow. The results are absolutely phenomenal. I love that, Ryan. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. There it is, folks, from Uber driver to $130K. I mean, that's a big deal. And now you know why I'm so excited. These are good folks at Bethel Tech, by the way. And over the next few days, we're going to play more of that interview because they actually walk alongside of you and mentor you, not just train you. Their placement, I mean, 85% is extraordinarily high. 9 months, $15,000. That's for everybody else. You all get a $500 discount. So go to betheltech.net/Ken Coleman right now and talk to them. And just say, Ken Coleman told me about you. I know you guys are partnering there. These are good people. And this is a game changer. You talk about, and for some of you, their qualifications will just add to your existing experience. And it may set you up for something down the road 2-3 years from now. So it's not just this career switcher. This could be a career enhancer. So I'm super excited about them. I've been dying to tell everybody. Joe's had me under strict rules not to say anything until this week. But we got the agreement done, and we are so excited because technology is in every company. Every company is a technology company. Think about that. Every ministry's got technology. Every nonprofit's got technology. And they are training you and placing you. And folks, 9 months. I mean, Joe, I get excited about that. 9 months.
That's not a long period of time,
It's not a long period of time. And you can, and Ramsey Solutions, we're all about you doing it financially the right way. And you could cash flow your way through this. You could still pay off debt. You could stay in Dave's baby steps and cash flow your way through a program like this and fast forward the dream and the debt payoff at the same time. How's that sound, Joe?
Sounds awesome. Completely change your life.
So this is why I got into this. For those of you watching at home, Damon, the brand leader, the guy who wrangles me, guides me, leads everything we do, he stepped into the control room. And Damon, this is why, one of the reasons why I did this show, why I want to do this show. Because I don't want to just be your counselor and your coach and your cheerleader. I want to guide you to other people who can do what I cannot do for you. That's a lot. Okay. All right. Outside of those 3 things, but these kind of relationships to be able to go, hey, we got to find the right partners who can come in and help the audience move forward. And Bethel Tech can do that. You've got to jump on this, at least call them, get online, talk to them, get all of the questions answered. And if you don't like what you don't hear, that's fine. Email me, ask@kencoleman.com, but I'm telling you, they're going to take great care of you. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go to Canton, Georgia. Oh, Joe, how many times have you and I driven through Canton, Georgia?
Many times.
Many times. Brent is there. Brent, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
Brent, I'm living the dream. What's going on with you?
I'm a teacher of 15 years. I've been teaching computer science. And,
Brent, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. You sound like you're in a tuna can. Let's see if we can move the phone. Talk directly into the phone. Let's see how that sounds.
Is that any better?
Are you in you move it? Let's try one more time, holding still and phone right on the mouth.
Is that any better?
We'll try it. Let's try it.
Okay, sorry.
I'm a teacher for 15 years, and I'm looking at starting an educational franchise. And I'm kind of in a weird situation where I'm a single income family. I'm the only income provider, and the franchise I'm looking at is an educational franchise that's kind of like an after schools program for STEM with Legos. And I'm kind of hung on whether or not I really want to take this step or not. And I wanted to kind of get your advice if this seems like a good financial opportunity for me, because I also have two young daughters. I have a 5-month-old and a 3-year-old.
Okay. Is this franchise is this franchise been around a while? You've done your homework on them?
Yeah, they're a fairly new franchise. They're about 3 or 4 years old. They are one of the fastest growing educational franchises in the country. And one of the things that kind of drew me to them, because I looked at a few others, was that it can be essentially an entirely home-based business.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a couple questions about it. Is it something that, because it's an after-school thing, could you presumably stay in your current teaching job and step right into that after hours in those early days when it's probably, all you?
Yes.
Okay, so that, to me, that's a positive, yes or no?
Yes.
So we're not going to have to sacrifice your current income. We don't want to lessen that in any way. So to me, that's at least one good thing. How much cash are they asking for you to buy in?
$35,000.
Whoa! And do you have any of that saved at all?
No, it would be a loan.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm going to say. I mean, maybe you don't. I mean, I understand the world's very big, so not everybody may realize that the Ken Coleman Show is a part of Ramsey Solutions, which powers the Dave Ramsey Show. And I don't know if you know of Dave or not, but our position on debt is it's not good.
Yeah, I'm familiar. We've gone through Financial Peace University before, and
well, then hold on a second. Then why in the world would you even consider taking a loan out for $35,000?
Because it's one of those things that I'm honestly feeling very stuck.
All right, so here's the deal. I can't understand Brent at this point. I know that's frustrating for everybody. It's not his fault. Brent, don't feel bad. Let me tell you what I think, Brent. Brent, I've got you on hold, so if you're talking back to me, spare yourself, because I'm going to talk directly to you because I've got enough information. I don't know what your answer was as to why you thought that it was okay to take a $35,000 loan out, but let me kindly paint the picture as to why this is not a good idea at all. You started the phone call off by saying you were single income, and it's you. Now, the good news is that this franchise is something you can do down the road, and I would say not in the too distant future. And it would allow you to bring in, presumably if it works, additional income that does not threaten, and it'll help you get some wonderful financial stability once the thing gets working, but it will not threaten your current income. That's a good thing. But you're going to have to save up the $35,000. You're going to have to get going, like a wild man, extra jobs, selling stuff, and you're going to have to be patient. Because here's what happens if you take a loan out for $35,000. This is a 3 to 4 year old franchise. That is not a long amount of time of success. That is in my mind, and you can disagree with me, and I'm okay with that. But a franchise that's been around 3 to 4 years is still what I would call a piloted situation. We got to see how this is going. We're in the beta stage, in my opinion. And I know it's fast growing, but just because it's fast growing doesn't mean that it is a super solid business model. It means that they've done a good job of convincing people to shell out $35,000 to do it. Now, because I couldn't converse with you because of the phone signal, I would do more research if you haven't already done it. If you've done it, fine. But here's what you need to know. It's been around 3 to 4 years. So what is the success rate of existing, meaning, or all told, how many people have bought in? And I'm making this up for example purpose. Let's say 1,000 people have bought in. How many of those 1,000 people are turning a profit? Net profit, by the way. I want to know those numbers. If you were my brother, Brent, I'd be going, we need to have coffee, and these are the answers I need to see. before I'm giving you my advice. And so I'm going to say the same thing to you. I want to know, what's the success rate? What are the margins? I'm assuming you've looked into all of this. How many students do you have to have? How many after-school programs have to be in place? And how many students would have to be in those programs for you to start turning a net profit? What are the additional expenses of capital investment that you have to come up with beyond the $35,000 I bought my way into the franchise? You start looking at all those things and you go, how long now would it take me to actually turn a profit? And I'm now going to add that in the form of debt? No, sir. You save up the $35,000. If you believe in this, you wait the 2 years or 3 years or whatever that's going to take. I think it could take you a lot less than that if you get really serious. I mean, you want to break that down, that's less than $12,000 a year saving. Could you work a second job and make $12,000 a year in a second job for 3 years? Absolutely, you could. Now, if you want to get really serious about the dream, then make $20,000 a year and come up with the $35,000 entry fee, if you will. Come up with the capital outlay, that the other expenses that it's going to take to actually do this. So renting facilities, equipment, there's a lot of things. We got to get a good old-fashioned checklist. And that stuff costs money. So you come up with the initial investment, you save it, and you give it a good run. Now, if it's going to take 2 years to show profitability, you're going to have 2 years of expenses. That's the only way to launch a side hustle like this and really give yourself a chance to make it work. Any other way of doing it is too risky, in my opinion, and it's not worth it. These dreams take time, and you've got to be willing to do what it takes and wait as long as it takes. That's the key to winning in this. So there you go. My time is almost up, but before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter, that you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.